women know too much. I'm all for girls that don't know too much. It's a different class.
Pay attention to the pitch.
Oh, no, she knows nothing.
It's higher than his baseline.
Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to Gatwick. So, hope you're going to enjoy this community flight. We'll start to get set up and started in a moment. If you're flying along with us, let us know in the chat so we know what to look out for. And of course, we'll see your name tags. I have them turned on, so we will see everybody that is flying along with us as well. The operational flight plan has been linked in the chat already. If you want to scroll up and look for that, do you know what? I'll pop that in again just in case anyone has missed it. But of course, if you're flying using the A320 from FlyByWire and you have the latest SimBrief mod involved, then you can simply set your username to Easyjetsimpilot and it'll put it all in for you, which is great. I love that feature, the fact that anyone can just basically hack into the same SimBrief profile, which is fine, isn't it? That's there's no danger there, so that's great. So Cormac, you're at gate 121. That's excellent. Silverknife, you're flying as well. Let us know where you are. AP, hello. Yep. Q&H. I've not even got that far, but basically we'll obviously be using the Q&H from Microsoft Flight Sim. We are on live weather, as you can tell, though we are not on live time. I just wanted to do a flight in the daytime. It gets depressing in the UK in the winter. It's just dark all the time, so that's fine. Transferring, hi, you've just come in from a 747. Oh, in FSX, fair enough. Bearded Gamer, you're joining as well, fantastic. And Thomas, is this your hometown? Oh, brilliant, excellent. Look forward to that. So we've got some usernames coming in there. We'll have a pan around in a moment. Let's pan around and have a look, see who we can see as and for. So that's great. Click the ready to fly and let's just nip outside. Okay, so as you can see, I'm on gate 104. At the moment, I've not got the Mega Pack liveries or anything like that in, just because I slowed the PC down. So your aircraft may not look like the one that you're actually flying. But you can see I've actually got quite a few on there, which is great. So down here at gate 33, make sure your server, of course, is set to Western Europe. That's very important, otherwise you will not be flying with us today. All right, so let's get in there and start setting up. Heart 1235 also at Gatwick, and hopefully figure out how to start the aircraft in time. We're all here to help you, so that'll be fine. Yeah, so Danny, you're at gate 33. You're in the KLM, which is fine. Unfortunately, as I've not got the not got everything set up here, you'll see that you'll probably not be depicted as a KLM. You might even be depicted as a Cessna or something daft like that. Who knows? Howling Crazy, any comms with other pilots? No, I don't believe that's integrated yet, which is a bit of a shame. They need to find out a way we can do that. Sean, of course you can, mate. To get yourself logged in at Gatwick on the West Europe server, all players selected. HD, good evening. So we've got PM monitoring about, I don't know, 10, 15 flights tonight for your HD. Good luck with that. Alright, so our flight plan, if you check that, we're looking at runway 08 right is the departure. However, I'm going to check the latest weather. I don't think that can be correct. We'll find out in a moment. So let's get in the flight deck, get some weather, and we'll chat and we'll have a look along. I'm just looking. This looks like this is meant to be live weather at Gatwick. This doesn't look very live to me. This looks very clear. Let me just double check that. So if we just go live weather. Just scroll the time back a little bit. That's interesting. Yeah, so we may just be flying in cloudless skies tonight, according to Flight Sim 2020. But there we go. XT, of course, come along and get yourself down at Gatwick, and we'll get out of here. Scandinavian 941, can't find how to download your SimBrief flight plan. Okay, so if you are in the A320, you can obviously import it all on its own. If you are not in the A320, you're going to have to do some manual inputting, my friend, unfortunately. But that is the link to the flight plan we are using. Other than that, you can just follow us the entire way there and see how that goes. So there you are. Okay, I'm going to going to get in there. Yeah, so it's I've just checked the real world meta. It's meant to be misty with low clouds. At the moment it's clear with no clouds, so never mind. The community flight, that will mean we're going to be able to see everybody, doesn't it? Okay, so we'll do most of this by the book, and but we also want to get out of here as quickly as possible as well, don't we? So let's get the batteries started, external power on, and get the APU started. Hi, Time Walker. So expected flight time to now is exactly 1 hour and 30 minutes travel time. So that will be obviously that's time in the air. Okay, so crew supply. Let's start getting those ideas aligned, because that takes 6 or 7 minutes. Navigation lights, seatbelt signs, mobile devices signs, and emergency lights. Get the fuel pumps on there as well. I will be using self-loading cargo for the flight, just to add a little bit of realism to that. So we can also start letting the passengers on as well. Sean Benning, can I just pop your name into the MCDU and the flight plan will pop up? That is correct. So all you need to do is enter the MCDU, change your SimBrief username to Easyjetsimpilot. I'll just pop that in. Easyjetsimpilot. There you go. Pop that in, and that will work. Should work perfectly for you. So there's no faffing about with having to import anything. Here comes my jetway. So I'm currently sat at gate 104.
Cabin crew, yeah, we've completed the checks, so now you can open the doors and start getting the passengers on board.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so our passengers are boarding while we go ahead and set this flight up. So, for those of you wanting to just check how to do the automatic importation of the flight plan, so in the MCDU menu, select options, select AOC, and then the SimBrief. If you just change that to match mine, Easyjetsimpilot, you'll then just be able to import everything. So that should work quite nicely for you. We're going to check that in a moment, of course. So I'm going to clear the chat, and then you can see what's happening on screen with this. Okay, so with that, I just need to head back to that menu, and let's start to what I will actually do is just get a quick weather request for Gatwick. Echo Golf Kilo, just to see what Microsoft Weather is actually meant to be saying about it. Howling Crazy, you can set it to whatever time you wish. I have put live weather on, although that doesn't actually seem to be working. There must be a server error. But whatever time you wish, we will be able to see you. We're just on all players at the moment. Oh, is that timer still on the screen? We can get rid of that. showing 0 minutes to go, so that's accurate. There we are. Get rid of that as well. Alright, so we have got, let's get all the information from SimBrief popped in there for us. So there's our init data request. There we go. Gatwick to Hamburg. Estimated time en route 1 hour 13 minutes. That page isn't working yet, so we're now just going to go our performance, weight and balance. Block fuel for the flight is 5228. Taxi fuel, trip fuel all look accurate, so that's good. So we can load that fuel in. Check that's gone in. 5228. It's just a little bit under. Again, that's just a Simlink issue, but that's fine. And then our weights and balance page, we've got a payload of 18.72 tons. All that looks accurate, and there's our zero fuel weight as well. Check that's accurate. 59.7 absolutely is accurate. I like it when things work. load the payload in, and there's our gross weight in the top right hand corner, 648. And if we look at our takeoff weight, we've got a takeoff weight of 647, so that's quite accurate as well. Okay, I'm just going to quickly check now the weather that is being shown in the simulator. I just want to get the wind, see what runway we're going to be taking off from. It should be 08 according to the flight plan, but let's have a look and see what we're getting. Bravo Smurf, how do I join the community flight? Literally get yourself loaded in with all players selected at Gatwick, and we're all there waiting for you. So METAR, we've currently got, well, strangely enough, that is the correct METAR. However, it's definitely not what I'm seeing outside my aircraft. Oh well, never mind. There's clearly just something happening within the weather. Let me know, by the way, if any of you who are currently at Gatwick have got clear blue skies or have actually got a little misty with broken clouds at 400 feet. QNH 979, which interesting enough, 979. If I just select B, that should give you the correct QNH. That appears to be different. Bravo Smurf, it is the West Europe server. So you would take it off from 08 right. However, the winds that are actually being shown would be a 26 left takeoff, so that's annoying, but we can change that in the flight plan. So all we're going to do is we're going to take off from runway 26 left. It's a much shorter taxi as well, which is quite nice, and then we're going to go direct to Umber. There will be no SID, we'll just go direct to Umber. Okay, so let's get this all init requested in. Flight number in use. I would imagine that flight number is probably in use by most of you if you've imported the SimBrief flight plan. So I'm just going to change mine to EasyY34 Alpha Mike. Pop that flight number in there. There we go. Cruise flight level and temperature. I'm not going to mess around changing those, although it should actually be -59. Tom Scarber, thank you very, very much for your support. It really is appreciated. Really glad you're enjoying the stream as well, and obviously any questions, feel free to get in touch. I'll do my best to answer them. Honestly, thank you very, very much for your donation. Okay, so here's the important bit then. Flight plan, runway 26 left we will be departing from. Runway 26 left, given the winds that we've just been given. We are going to select no SIDS, so we can just insert that, and we're going to go direct then to Umber. So hopefully your flight plan should look something a little bit like mine on screen. 26 left, direct Umber, and then off we go. When we get to the other end, however, we're going to be arriving on, at the moment as planned, ILS runway 505, that is, and for some reason we've not actually got any SIDS, stars in there. Why have we not got any stars? We've had a lazy flight planner today, ladies and gentlemen, so let me have a look at this. Arrivals for runway 05 will be, I'm going to guess, okay, we will use the Bogma 1 November. Alright, no we won't, that's a lie. We're going to use the Ribs 5 Alpha arrival, looking at the direction we'll be coming from. So it's the Ribs 5 Alpha. I'll just pop that in the chat for you. So there we go. That's for those of you that are going to fly. Want to pop a star in there. So there it is, Ribs 5 Alpha. Okay, and we'll get that inserted. We can check that all looks clean once we're in the air. Actually, let's once we get moving. Okay, so there's our flight plan. Let's have a look then at the performance page. Sorry, at the init B page. Okay, bring the flight plan back up. Our zero fuel weight is 597, and just a standard zero fuel weight center of gravity is 30, not 300. Missed the decimal point. Okay, so fuel planning tells us we need a block fuel of 5.1. We're taking 5.2, so that's very close, isn't it? Which is great. 5.2. Pop that in there. And we've got a trip wind of T5, so a very small tailwind overall. Pop that in. And that should all compute itself out quite nicely. Howling crazy, the Sims just crashed. Oh no. Well, do you know what? If you can get yourself loaded back in, you probably won't be far behind us. That's looking good. Fuel prediction on the ground, 2.2 tons still in the tank when we arrive at Hamburg. Excellent. Okay, so on to the performance page. Thrust reduction, acceleration is accurate, and we will be doing a flex 2 temp takeoff, which I've already worked out. If you're using all these figures, it will be 65. That's with packs off, obviously anti-ice off, and runway dry. So 65 for the flex temp, and flaps 1. Transition altitude at Gatwick, I believe, is 6,000 feet. And let's calculate these V-speeds. So, clear the GPS primary message. There we go. V1, VR, V2 disagree. 132 and V2 136. HD, if you have a second, could you just explain in its simplest terms the meaning of V2? It's a question I get asked a lot, and I'm always conscious I'm not giving the best answer I could with that. So if you wouldn't mind chipping in there, we'll have a look. Have a look at that. But my understanding is basically V2. That's your engine out, safe acceleration and climb speed. But correct me if I'm wrong, please, on that. Okay, so Sean, what gate am I? I'm at gate 108. I believe. Have to double check that now. But oh, sorry, 104. We're at 104. And I can hear my passengers behind me are more or less ready. We've obviously not got any air traffic control. I'm not using the default air traffic control, so we're going to, with no standard instrument departure, we're just going to set our climb altitude straight up to flight level 370, which is the one we have in the flight plan. So we can set that up now. With everything looking accurate, we're going to be flight directors turned on, and I'm going to turn off the screens to save a little bit of the frame rates. Okay, bleed air can go on, and we can start heating our cabin up. I'm going to turn on the beacon light as I'm more or less ready to start pushing back and starting the engines. Let's just have a quick look around outside. And I'm really looking forward to this. So we're generally taxiing down there to runway 26 left, taking off, and then it will be a right-hand turn. We'll just double check that. Yep, there we go. So it'll be a right-hand turn as we leave Gatwick. Chap, how to reset the weight? If you're using SimBrief, that will do it automatically for you. If not, you can use the fuel and weight to balance screen just up here. So that's fine. And just setting my trim, which will be down 0.3. So as HD says, V2 is simply the takeoff safety speed. You don't want to go below it if you use a donkey. Donkey is engine, for those of you unaware. So you don't want to go below that if you lose an engine. It's a bit more complicated than that from a performance calculated perspective, but that's a long discussion. That's fair enough, HD, thank you. Okay, so I am now going to check my passengers are all on board. I believe they are. And we can get rid of the jetway and say goodbye. No, we're not on that sim tonight with the community flight. We're just all flying. We're freeloading our way across Europe. Yes, it is the West Europe server.
Hi, Captain. All passengers are on board and doors have been closed.
That's great, thank you.
activating my little tug down here with the wonderful pushback helper app. SID transition silver knife, where we've not got a SID involved, so we're literally just taking off, and then it's a right hand turn out of Gatwick from runway 26 left, direct Umber. So I'm just waiting for this drunk tug driver to start pushing us back. Oh well, he'll get there eventually. So I'm going to take the parking brake off, as we need to do that before they get to us in Flight Sim 2020 at the moment. They don't sort of contact us to tell us what they're doing. Pop the constraints on. And we'll start engine 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello from Flight Deck. My name is Gavin and I'm your captain today, and I'd like to welcome you on board this Easyjet A320 aircraft. We're not expecting any delays, we're going to get pushing back pretty soon. The guys on the ground have just popped the last of the luggage away, so if you can assist the cabin crew in getting yourself sat down, seatbelts on, everything fastened, and giving your full attention throughout the safety briefing, and we'll get going as soon as possible. Once again, thank you for choosing Easyjet, and enjoy the flight today.
Okay, just to confirm for everyone, we're not taking off on the runway as specified in the flight plan due to the winds being different, so it is runway 26 left for departure. Andy, looking forward to this. Good luck all.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the crew, I ask that you please direct your attention to the monitors as we review the emergency procedures. There are 6 emergency exits.
Scandinavian 941, you can see yourself. Oh yeah, there you are. I can see you right at the top. Fantastic. It's me. It's me. That's what community flights are all about, fellas, aren't it? It's great.
Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat.
Okay, I need to jump back in the cockpit and
pull the strap to tighten it.
get engine 2 started.
Traveling with children, make sure you put your own mask on first before helping others. In the unlikely event of an emergency landing and evacuation, leave your carry-on luggage and items behind.
Yep, so XT, just flying aircraft. That's purely because at the moment I've not got the I don't have the livery mega pack or anything like that involved. Again, it's just really to save on frame rates. That's the only reason.
Thank you for your attention, and we hope you enjoy the flight.
Badawi, good morning. Buffalo Gaming, hello. What is happening? What is happening is a few of us are about to set off from Gatwick, runway 27 left, head out to Hamburg. So I'm just waiting for my engine number 2 to spool up. I'm presuming whoever that is in front of us is flying, because I've got this Gatwick scenery, so it may not be quite modelled accurately if you're on default scenery. Though if you are on default, this Gatwick scenery is free, so go for it, go and get that. You can get that from flightsim.to. Okay, my engines are sorted, so we can just clean the aircraft up. Lock the cockpit door. Engine mode selected to norm. And APU off. Taxi light on. Packs are all currently on. And we'll get those off in a moment.
Cabin crew, please arm doors and cross-check.
Okay, let's get moving. I just popped the parking brake on. I meant to release it, didn't I? It was already released. XT, has the Gatwick scenery been updated? Do you know, I've not checked. It gets updated a heck of a lot, so more than likely. Alright, so I'm just leaving. I'm currently on, for those of you that have Navigraph, we're currently on taxiway, is it Papa? I can never remember. HD will tell me. 1 kilo, turning right onto Papa. and then we'll go down on Alpha November. Now, Gatwick is always a little bit of a maze here approaching Alpha November, and I always tend to miss it and end up going on to Popper. So I've now got the new scenery. So there's Zulu. We don't want Zulu, we want the one after Zulu. Which is just here. It's great that we've got, there we go, there's Alpha November. Howling crazy, I can see you straight in front of us, my friend. Which terminal are you at? Is that like a cargo terminal or something? Northern Coast, good evening from Hamburg. Runway use for the landing, runway 15, runway takeoff, runway 23. Ah, fair enough, so we may need to have a look at that whilst we're flying mid-air, so that could add a little bit of fun for it. We were given runway 5 for landing, so clearly that's not correct. Okay, so I'm going all the way to Mike, holding point Mike 1 for those of you with charts. So if any of you are currently on the runway and want to begin your journey, off you go and I shall see you in the air. Flaps 1 and spoilers are armed. Auto brakes now on. If you want to join us, Buffalo Gaming, we are on the West Europe server. We shall ding the cabin.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff, please.
Okay, let's get ready for before takeoff. So, flight controls are checked and all working, which is good. Trim setting. There we go. Briefing is complete. Basically, take off and it's a right-hand turn. Transponder, we can turn that on even though we're not using ATC. So, TCAS, which should be fun because this should be working. We're not on VATSIM, so hopefully we'll be able to get to see many of you on the radar as well. Weather radar, don't see why it's not working. TO config, all set. Turn on wind shear as well. Okay, let's pop on the landing lights, and if any of you have departed, I shall see you in the air. If not, I'm probably about to take off in front of you. Okay, all is good. Let's depart. Brandon, we're not on VATSIM, this is purely a fun flight, but still keeping it real. Buffalo Gaming, you don't have to be in an A320, not at all. You can be in any aircraft you wish. Obviously, I'm in an A320, so anything that has those sorts of speeds. You don't want to be in a Cessna Caravan, for example. HD, thank you. We'll turn the packs off just before we take off. Packs 1 and 2 now off. Shap, look behind you. Was that you? That's the problem, we've all got different usernames. I can see Gordon there. Hello. Alright. So, flex temp takeoff. Start the chrono. Rolling takeoffs are permitted. Here we are. Man flex, SRS and runway. Wow, that 747 in front of us is having fun. 100 knots. V1 rotate.
Positive rate of climb, gear up.
Get the gear up, establish climb, and then we will make that right hand turn. Okay, so it's 700 feet, we're making that right hand bank. I'll catch up with you all in the chat at the moment, obviously concentrating on the takeoff for the time being. Setting climb thrust, lower the nose to target 250 knots. Get past the S speed, then we can clean up the flap configuration. Problem with that is it wants to lower the nose and almost stop us climbing, so you don't want to go too low. You can ignore the flight director a little bit at that point. Okay, so we've passed S speed, flaps up, ground spoilers now disarmed. Got a moment here to turn the packs back on. And in a second we will pop the autopilot on and I can come back into the chat room. So that's looking good. Autopilot 1 going on. And I'm going to leave it in manage mode for the climb, as it's not been doing too bad recently. Although we're currently climbing at 4,200 feet per minute. Captain Viv, I don't like the new rudder update. Yeah, I've seen a few people say similar things. Okay, as we're climbing straight to our flight altitude, we can go to standard pressure. 4,200 is normal. That is good to know, HD. That means we're manage mode climb is no longer ridiculous. It was 6,000 for weeks and weeks and weeks, which you tell me if that's wrong, but I thought it was. Seemed rather steep. And even if I've not managed to catch all you guys in the chat, it's obvious now who's doing the flight with us as we all follow this flight plan. XT Flight Sim, to pop my name into the sim, go to the MCDU menu, settings, and then it's the AOC settings you're after, and in there it says SimBrief, and you can pop in Easyjetsimpilot there. Brandon, can I copy the flight route in here? Yes, I believe I can. There's a lot of directs, basically. So here is our first waypoint. First waypoint was Umber. Cormac, you've locked your speed to 200 so we can all catch up. Is that you, Coma69? Is that you, mate? I can see you in front of us. Alright, we're past 10,000 feet, so the landing lights went off a moment ago. Curious that I'm not getting much on the old TCAS display. I thought they were all going to be shown. Set TCAS traffic to all. Hang on a minute. Let me change that. So we've got above, we've got below, and we've got all. So will that start to show anything on the map? Oh well, might have to have a little play with that later. Bravo Smurf, you've got a different route, so you're a little behind. No worries there. XT Flight Sim, what's the MCDU menu? Okay, so down here it is the out of the top row of buttons, it's the MCDU menu. So if you can click that button there, you then want to go to options, and then it's the AOC options, and there you'll find the SimBrief option. So Cormac, you've got scattered clouds. Good for you. I've just got clear blue skies, which is odd. This is the first time actually I've never had weather working. I can see plenty of you flying with us. That is a great sight. Which one of you guys is short relic 44520? You're holding a great speed. Just staying in picture above us. HD, yeah, I'm thinking the old separation rules may go out the window for this flight. Can we break FAA rules? Yeah, why not? But only in terms of separation. I'm sure there's a few of you that are less than 5 miles laterally and 1,000 miles above and below. Silver Knife, you just crashed. Do you mean the sim or the aircraft? Easyjetsimpilot is the username, that's correct. XT, no spaces, so just all one word. Easyjetsimpilot. I'm in managed mode for the speed, Sean, so we're currently in Mach 6.2. Maybe it's good TCAS doesn't work. Otherwise autopilot would take over. Yeah, sadly it wouldn't in the sim. But TCAS was working when the sim first came out, and it does with AI traffic, so just wondering why it's not here. So we're all on. Have a play with those. So if we go with TCAS traffic to all, that should be the one that's working, but I don't know. It definitely used to work. Definitely used to work. Go ahead in, SimBrief question. If SimBrief gives you flight level 200 for the first part, then 370 for the rest of the cruise, what value goes into init A? It should be your final cruise level, so 370. Not sure why SimBrief does that. HD, you can let us know. I've never seen it on a real OFP. Do you get step climbs planned into them? Sometimes for fuel? I can imagine on long flights, but certainly nothing like this. We only had about 5 ton of fuel on board for this flight. Boxer Steve, you passed your FAT sim exam yesterday. Wonderful. We shall see you soon. XT, you don't need the user ID. It's either or. So it's either the username or user ID. So just pop in the username. That works fine. Let's see if we can zoom in on some of you. So we've got Jaw91. Can't quite make you out. What are you flying? A microlight. Who else are we creeping up on? Sushi AT. And we've got Scandinavian over to the left of us. Scandinavian 941. Scandinavian 941. Was that a flight that used to go into Manchester? I seem to remember that from my youth. Thomas is correct, of course. Yes, you can turn off step climbs in SimBrief. Vismay Patel, am I using the FlyLife Studios for the overlay? Yep, that is correct. And it looks like we've got a flying army behind us, doesn't it? How amazing is that? Oh, hey up, who's that? Dropping out of the sky. Short relic. Are you flying manually? Haha. Awesome. AP, I'm a bit hungry. Time to catch that sushi. Yeah, Sushi, if you're in the chat, say hello, mate. I've not clocked you. So if you are there, we're basically all following you. Scandinavian 941 over to the left. It would be interesting to know how many of you guys are actually involved in this. Obviously, counting the nameplates, we're on all traffic, so we could have people that are just happen to be in the virtual flight sim world. Marcus, hello. Thank you for that. So, Marcus, we're following you. Yeah, so HD, so the TARA, for anyone that was asking about that, but that basically obviously goes on before you take off. RA, as it says, that's the one that shouts, means that the aircraft is then going to shout at you and tell you what to do. And there's usually, I believe it's tilt above and tilt below or whatever, depending on what it is you're doing. Not sure if that's modelled accurately yet in the sim. Oh, that's interesting. Why's my eCam displays disappeared? In fact, half my displays have disappeared. Oh no. How strange. Alright, HD. Electronics checklist, please. Why has that happened? That has never happened before. So at the moment, I'm flying blind. Any ideas how to get this working again, gents? This is the first... Oh, hang on. That's all just jumped back in. Well, I didn't like that. HD must have pulled a circuit breaker. Wow. There's no QRH for half the panel disappearing. But you know what? It's back and it's working, so I didn't touch anything. Don't worry. To be fair, if it did happen, I'd just keep following Sushi or Marcus, who's out in front of me. He's my guiding light. We'd still have flight control. That's the main thing. And if need be, we'd go visual on the landing. However, that has never happened before. The only thing I'm doing different this time to any other time is the fact that we've got live traffic, well, live players on. So that might be something I need to go back to the fly-by-wire guys and tell them about. So yeah, Lucas, that's all I'd do. I'd just be following the others. Thomas, I don't know, did you see a co-pilot sat there? I wasn't concentrating on the co-pilot, to be honest. I was concentrating on the fact that half my panels had disappeared. HD, that's a good point as well. From a computer point of view, it could just be the fact that it was prioritising the aircraft behind me. What I might do is turn TCAS off if it's trying to get that working. Okay. So, just here, we've got a little message here. Would be rude not to have a look at what that is. In the AOC menu, messages received, so there's a free text. It's a test text from whoever 261 is. So, Thomas, did you see someone just moments ago? Oh, that's interesting. There was a co-pilot sat there. I'm going to have to rewind the stream. I can't obviously do that. You guys can if you're just watching. Wow, that's freaky, isn't it? Okay, do you know what? We've still got cabin crew and everyone's sat twiddling their fingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, so you are free to move about the cabin. However, please Please note that we do recommend you fasten your seat belts at all times when you are seated in case of turbulence. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please fasten your seatbelts as soon
No,
as
I haven't. Self-loading cargo. The seatbelt sign is most certainly off.
Ladies and gentlemen,
For anyone wanting the cruise speed, current ground speed is 458. True airspeed is 455, and at flight level 370, which we're about to reach, we're flying at Mach 0.78.
ladies and gentlemen, we are about to serve our drink selection, including tea.
XT self-loading cargo is quite good, yeah.
Table is in the down position.
Add some immersion to it, and it certainly can be obtained for Flight Sim 2020, as you've just heard. Okay, now let's have a look at this landing that we're going to be doing in Hamburg. We'll start to brief on that a little bit. So I believe someone just told me in the chat, who's more local with the knowledge, that we're currently using runway 15 for arrivals, not runway 5, as was the planned approach. So let me just bring up some information on that. Again, I've just got Navigraph charts next to me. Have a quick look behind me and all my panel might disappear again. There we go. Okay, so runway 15 in use for arrivals. Well, that's good. We can come almost straight in then from the north, which is nice. Let's have a look then. It'll be ILS approach, or I'll be making the ILS approach for runway 15, and the star for that we'll be using. Let's have a look. So the Ribs 5 Alpha is the one I suggested, wasn't it? So if I now jump back into the flight deck, oh good, all the panels are still there. There's a bonus. So runway 15 HD. I think you have some stalkers. Garbett, thank you very much. So it's the Ribs 1 Delta, Ribs 01 Delta. Okay, so let's get this popped into our flight plan. So, destination, change that. We're not arriving runway 5, so it's going to be ILS 15, and it's the Ribs 1 Delta approach. Insert. Let's have a look how Flight Sim 2020 depicts that on the navigation display. Scroll through the waypoints, and oh wow, okay, so I think we'll be vectoring ourselves in, won't we? For those of you doing that, the vector point I would suggest would be to try and get a little bit of spacing. If we can all vector ourselves to DH434, that would be good, and then we can almost fly sort of like the mini circuit, basically downwind, base and final. So DH434 is where we're going to be aiming for. Okay, so William, you're just on the ground in Paris. How fast can you get to Hamburg, my friend? We shall see you there. What would be nice is if I could delete some of these waypoints in the star, which obviously aren't meant to be there. So, for example, we've got Visa, Devo. Right, so if we can delete that, let's see if this works. So if we can delete that, delete that, Let's just insert that and see what happens. Oh, there we go. That looks spot on. Lucas said, yeah, that's true. If you right alt and click on the display that you want, you obviously get a much bigger display. However, I know you guys wouldn't see that in the stream yet because that's a separate window, and just the way that I've got the streaming software set up, you wouldn't be able to use it. So Brandon Chuck will be using the oh, do you know, I've forgotten which one it was now. Was it the Ribs 1 Delta? Ribso 1 Delta. That is the star that we're using. Ribso 1 Delta. If you're keying it in waypoint by waypoint, the important one that you'll need is DH455. That's the start of the ILS approach, really. DH455. Okay, I need to know when we're going to start descending, actually. So I'm just going to bring up the details on that star. It's the Ribso 1 Delta, and we need to be to about 11,000 feet at Ribso. Is that accurately portrayed in our constraints? Well, it says below 11,000 feet and it's got 7,500, so technically it's not lying. Okay, 22 minutes so far into the flight. Flight time is 1 hour 13, so we're not too long before we start the descent. Probably about 20 minutes or so, something like that. Boxer Steve, we're not on VATSIM, so you won't be able to see us on that map. Thomas, yeah, that's what we're basically doing. So DH455 is the important waypoint. However, I've said we're going to fly, if possible, DH434, just so we can do a mini downwind base and final, just for separation. I mean, why not? Look at us all. It's a good job we're not on VATSIM, isn't it? Can you imagine the holds? Chow Dry, hello, thanks for watching. Very well, thank you. Enjoying our first big community flight. There we go, look at us all. What I will pop on is if we just turn on the VFR map. Strangely enough, I thought that other aircraft used to appear on the VFR map as well. Am I wrong there? XT, we're cruising at 370. Yeah, 220 knots at DH434, I've got that on the charts. HD, is this making you wish you got the PC? Well, if you had, we'd all be following you. Hopping train below us. What are you flying? Is that the Cessna Citation? With your landing gear down. Excellent. Yeah, fair enough, HD, or just back at work. That would do it for you, wouldn't it? There's probably a lot more aircraft in these virtual skies than there are the real ones at the moment. Oh, Marcus, do we need to zoom in more to show other aircraft? Let's see if that works then. So we're zoomed in. I would say we're zoomed in enough there, I think. Scandinavian 941, so you got your top of descent 3 miles from Dotop. There's also a top of descent in the flight sim, in the SimBrief flight plan, isn't there? Not sure how accurate that is. Oh, there's Cornwall, 69. Buffalo, is that you in the citation? The landing gear is not down on my screen, but it may be on yours. It was on ours. It gave us a good laugh. Heart 1235, we're much further ahead. I think we're about 25 minutes into the flight now. Boxer Steve, we are on the West Europe server. If you're joining us, what I would do for anyone that is online and wanting to join, what I would suggest is get yourself at Amsterdam. If you can see Spy Sierra Papa Yankee there on the VFR map, that is essentially Amsterdam Airport. If I'm right, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 99% certain that's Amsterdam. Get yourself in Amsterdam, you'll see us above you, and get yourself up and join us. That would be great to have you along for the ride. Chowdry, you're my biggest fan. Thank you very much. It's just fun to do this, isn't it? And to do something like this where we can all hop on the sim and do it together. Flight Sim 2020 really does have so much going for it. Bravo Smurf coming behind you. I'm just looking at all the different name tags that we've got. We've got Flying Scott, Time, Supernova, MS Wolf, and then what looks like a real separation issue there directly behind us. Muslim Cat, and then we've got a couple in front of us as well, which is good. We've got Short Relic, Scandinavian 941, Sushi, who's Marcus, and Komu 69. Andy, you're quite right, it does look amazing. Thomas, if you've got the sim, yeah, Tom Gerber, if you've got the sim, then if you're not in the air with us, meet us on the ground at Hamburg. You can marshal us in. Bearded Game, Howling has a good point with the Discord server. Yeah, that would, wouldn't it? Do you know what, Howling? It's something which I'd never thought about setting up, but then I never imagined the channel to actually gain this much popularity. So it's definitely something that we're going to have to consider. There's Hopping Train zooming past with the landing gear down. I don't know why that really makes me laugh. I keep wanting to see it get ripped off from underneath. I'll leave the VFR map just up there for anyone that wants to join mid-flight. Get yourself to Amsterdam, and we'll be over Amsterdam shortly at the Sierra Papa Yankee waypoint. Chadra, no, I don't have Instagram. Well, certainly not for flight simming. Scandi 941, Amsterdam looks crowded. Scandi 941, how can you tell that? Obviously you're in the air in front of us. I want to know, how can you tell how crowded Amsterdam is from up here? You don't have two PCs, do you? Who pays attention to VLO anyway? Only the real world pilots HD. Only in the real world. Is there a return trip? Silverknife, no, not tonight. It's literally a one flight over. But for those of you that do enjoy watching sort of the real world op flights, I will be streaming during the day tomorrow. If you can't tell, I'm back at work tomorrow, which is why I'll be streaming. So we'll have a real world EasyJet flight flying for you tomorrow. EasyJet, we should watch everyone land when we get to Hamburg. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So Silverknife, you at Amsterdam waiting. Oh, excellent. Let me zoom in on the map a little bit more, so you can see just as we get there. So where is Amsterdam in relation to the oh, there it is. So Amsterdam is just there to the south, not too far. So I knew the spy waypoint was very close to Amsterdam, so I would say if you are on the ground in Amsterdam, if you start your takeoff roll pretty soon, head north of the airfield and you will see us all. So XT, you're going to leave the flight group and then spawn at Amsterdam to catch up. Yeah, sounds like a decent idea. Buffalo, should I do aerobatics? Yeah, why not? That keeps us all entertained. Chowder, do I have a favourite destination? Not really. I mean, you've got destinations which always have fun approaches. They're always good. Things like Madeira, Gibraltar, all the ones that you're not legally allowed to fly at without special training. Sean, my gamer tag is Easyjetsimpilot. So if you want to load that into your flight plan, you can do. So you can just see where we are in relation to Amsterdam here on the VFR map. Amsterdam to the south. Head north after takeoff and you'll catch us all up, I'm sure. Yikes, hello, thanks for joining. I was trying to find a report of EasyJet Gatwick to Hamburg and got this stream. Oh, well, don't let this put you off flying EasyJet, will you? HD, give me Faro any day. Ah, fair enough. I don't think I've done Faro on the sim. I might have done it once, actually. May have done that once. It's certainly not one I can remember. Is that just for scenery or ease of approach that you like that, HD? Boxer Steve, you see the blob of everyone. That's good. Okay, so I'm planning to start my descent at about 90 miles from Ribso. For anyone that wants to copy that, of course, I'll call out the top of the descent. What I am going to do now is just shift the VFR map over there. I need some weather. Not that much of it seems to be simulated that well at the moment for some reason, which is very strange. So let's get a weather request, send. We'll get that in a moment. Yeah, don't know why I haven't got any weather at all. But it means I get to see everybody. So here is the blob of everyone, as it was eloquently popped in the chat. XD, won't do the flight plan when I put my username in. Oh, I have no idea why that is. If anyone else has had a problem, let us know. Make sure you pop in the username into the SimBrief section of the SimBrief section of the options. 2021 is next door. It is. I'd love to be able to do a sort of chase the new year flight. That'd be epic, but unfortunately family commitments wouldn't permit that. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. What I will have to get sorted for the next community flight is just load in a load of whatever mod it is that I need, or livery packs that I need, just to get all your guys' aircraft displaying correctly. Someone may have to, for those of you that know me well, you know I'm not very computer literate, but check the about page, find my email address and the email instructions of what to do, and we'll get that sorted. Okay, so let's have a look at the current METAR in the sim, which may be in the sim, but it doesn't seem to be being displayed correctly. So 09015, sorry, at 5, not 15. Temperature 3 and QNH 982. Full moon party video. The planes in the air could be a data issue related to the lack of live weather. Heights are not correct. Well, hopefully we should all be on standard pressure by now. So yeah. Certainly not getting any aircraft either on the TCAS or on the VFR map, which they used to show. Unless they only show in live players. Remember, we're using all players, so it doesn't matter what time of day you're flying, what weather you're flying. Everyone's been shown. Box to Steve, there you are in your 787 Dreamliner, holding steady at 35,000 feet. Das Auto Koing, I'm not going to try and pronounce that again. 156, there you are in front of us, just seeing that. Boxer Steve, you're in slew mode coming towards us. Okay, what's the checklist for that? For me, you mean the Gatwick taxi? Ah, yes, okay, fair enough. For the reason the aircraft may be taxiing in the air. Fair point, you do put a good point forward there. I didn't know it was because I'd got the mod. If not everyone had the mod, then it may be slightly different. Okay, let's pop in some of our performance data. So, if anyone's got the wants to do this with me, QNH is allegedly 982. The temperature is +3. The wind is 090 at 5. And the transition altitude at Hamburg is 5,000 feet. And the minimum descent altitude for the Cat 1 is 253. 253. And if anyone wants to check their RadNav page to make sure the frequency, ILS frequency is in there, it is 109.55. That's already pre-populated, so that's good. I'm also going to put the Ulster VOR in there, which is ALF. We can just type that in now, can't we? ALF. That should populate for us. Wonderful, 15.8, that is correct. Okay. Yikes, imagine being a pilot and notice some other plane pulling from underneath causing a near crash. Happens a lot in multiplayer on Flight Sim 2020. So what I'm going to try and do, quickly, just before I begin the top of descent, yeah, we've got a few miles to go. I'm going to see how many people we can count that's actually taking part in the community flight, because this is great. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, this is going to be more difficult than I thought. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21, 22. That's as many as I can count, really. I know there's more than that, but there you are. HD, it happens more often than you think. I hope you mean VFR and not IFR aircraft doing that. That would be scary. I could hear in the headphones I'm wearing the engine that was just, oh wow, ghost plane. I could hear the engine creeping up from left to right, and that is a very surreal sound. Also, that's when people using silly climb and descent rates. Isn't that what ATC's for? thought they were there to restrict things like that. Then again, that's what you've got TCAS shouting at you for, I guess. Just in case. Thomas, do I know why the ILS frequency isn't always shown in the RadNav page? Honestly, no, because I've never had it not show. So I'm not sure why. Jeremy, the planes turn randomly in my sim. How do you fix it? Make sure your dead zone is set to at least 20%. Yeah, at least 20%. Other than that, it may just be a setup error. Skyferry, hi, can I join you on the next group flight? Skyferry, you can join this one if you wish. You may have to just join us on the ground at Hamburg, but at least you will be there. Yeah, basically we're just in normal multiplayer mode on Flight Sim 2020. All players on the West Europe server. We'll always be on the West Europe server. Until TCAS is in up. Yikes. ATC minding their own business until 50 Easyjetsimpilot fans pull up and ruin his career. Yeah, that's interesting. There's 1,000 feet difference between YouTube and your screen. Howling Crazy, you're a bit behind, so not visible. I think as well it limits 50 aircraft as well. 50 of your closest aircraft in the sim. Just looking at other airfields that are en route for anyone that wanted to join very quickly. So you could easily join us at Echo Delta Whiskey X-Ray. I have no idea where that is, but basically join us there. You'd only need a small plane for that last leg of the flight. Lazarus, in one of your videos you put both autopilot on for landing. Who did you do it to keep switching between them? You can't put both on at the same time. You should be able to, but you can't. Not in Flight Sim 2020. It's basically Autopilot 1 or Autopilot 2. Autopilot 1 is used when the captain's flying, Autopilot 2 when the first officer's flying. Basically just pick the side that you sat at. Alright, so we are about 80 miles away from Ribzo. I'm going to start my top of descent. So I'm descending down to 11,000 feet. And we're starting that now. We're descending at a descent rate of not much of a tailwind. So 1,800 feet per minute. And I'm slowing the speed down to about Mach 0.6 for the time being. We'll need to slow it down to about 270 knots. Okay, so top of descent has started.
Ladies and gentlemen, from flight anchors to let you know we'll soon be starting our descent to our destination. At which point the cabin crew will start preparing the aircraft for our arrival, so if you can make sure the aisles are kept there or any baggage. The seatbelt signs will also shortly be going on, so if you do need to use the toilets, please do so now before we pop those on for your safety. Thank you very much for your cooperation, and we'll speak to you again soon.
So yeah, that's basically the rule of thumb coming in handy for that descent until VNAV is working correctly in the sim. So again, for those of you that have got the star programmed in, it is the Ribzo 1 Delta arrival, which if it messes up your flight plan, basically you want to go from Ribzo to DH Delta Hotel 434 and then just follow the star to through to Delta Hotel 455, and that's the ILS approach. Hopefully that all makes sense. HD will check that with the flaps. I still think F comes out. Jamie Specs are on the About page, or I think if I just type that in there, that should come through for you. Oh, Steve, you got to leave us, mate. No worries. Join us for the next community flight. I do think it's great that you guys can just pick up on my SimBrief flight plan. It literally has us all flying in exactly the same direction. Captain Shark 21, no, we're not using any air traffic control. We're just freewheeling our way there, really. Howling Crazy, were you visible? Did you catch up a bit? I want to know if anyone's in a Cessna and has just slewed the entire flight. Bravo Smith, will I do more in just flight sim multiplayer as I can't use VATSIM? Do you know, it depends on what we think. I mean, the success of this, if you've all enjoyed it, afterwards hit the like button, obviously, and that'll give us a good idea as to how popular this has been. I just like VATSIM, obviously, when doing live streams, normally during the working week, and that's when we do those. It's just more realistic, but in an evening, perhaps when we've got more people online, then it's good to do. VATSIMs when we're using, you know, realistic procedures, realistic approaches, which I actually really like doing. So if anyone ever wants to join me on VATSIM flights, they're more than welcome for that. Random fact, HD, the new version on the aircraft will be getting rid of some of the flight control computers. You're down to 4. Which one are they getting rid of? Presumably the 3s, is that right? We shall wait. That's kind of worrying. Can't disagree with you there, Turtle. Buffalo, you'll be on the ground at Hamburg waiting for us all. Just sit right at the very end of runway 15. Can we get a wing view, Captain? We certainly can, just quickly. I've not set these up, so I'm still using the camera views for that. Can't see any of the followers out of the wing though, not yet. So you're losing the flight augmentation computer and losing a spoiler and elevator computer. Oh, fair enough. Clearly they're happy with the ones that they have. Scots 2255, what star are we using? We are using the Ribzo 1 Delta. Ribzo 1 Delta. Buffalo Gaming will be all waiting for you. If anyone runs into Buffalo Gaming at the end of the runway, your landing should have been a go around. Captain Shark 21, have I used Pilot to ATC? I have, not in Flight Sim 2020. I used it in FSX and it was very good. Much better than default ATC. Paul, hi mate. So, remind me the website for Gatwick again. I'll just type that in here for you. And you'll find it on there. Just search for the Gatwick code, Echo Golf Charlie Charlie, and it will come up for you. So HD and the manual control linkages to the rudder will also go. So it's completely fly-by-wire. Have faith in technology. So as everyone who was in front of me just slowed down as I've started the descent, or has my sim decided not to render you guys? There's no one in front of me anymore at the moment. Eastwards Lee, lots of traffic in Hamburg at the moment at the ramp. At the ramp end of 33. The internet's waiting for our arrival. HD, have I seen you use an iPhone? No, but I have seen you use an iPad. Cormac, you're missing some people and me, so there must be a flight sim server issue there, as we're all descending on the same area of the sky, no doubt. Gordon, yeah, everyone's in front has just disappeared. Well, I presume you're all still there, of course, and that's the main thing. How strange. Cormac, you've got interesting weather on the radar. I've not even got weather on the radar, so I don't know what's happened there. So I've never had an issue with the weather ever. So there you go. Those damn aliens. Yeah, Scandi 941, you've disappeared from my skies as well. Lucas, you're all below me. That's fine. As long as we're still there, that's fine. If I look behind me, there's still plenty of you still behind us. What it does mean, if I've got cloudless skies, is I get a nice view of what's beneath me. So Heart1235, I think it's got it nailed. The servers are having a tough time. Everyone's disappeared for you? Oh no. Why are there EasyJet 787 liveries at flightsim.to? Maybe they know something Stelios doesn't. Bravo Smurf, you're taking a different route but still landing runway 15. That's fine. Sharp, are we crossing the Bermuda Triangle? We should do that one day. A Bermuda Triangle flight. Captain Shark, thank you very much for your support. Much appreciated as always. Any questions, hit me up. I'll do what we can do to answer. Both Sim or A320 related. Marcus, weather sometimes went blank on you too when starting another flight after returning to the main menu. Oh, that's interesting. Everyone will appear at 100 feet and your PC will become a stop motion animation film. Cue the theme tune from Wallace and Gromit. Is everybody disappearing? Oh, never. Well, you know, I did get a couple of screenshots in right at the start of the flight just for the video thumbnail on YouTube, which I'll pop on as soon as we've finished. I'll pop a couple of those photos as well onto the community page of the channel as well. Hopefully you can spot yourself. Buffalo, I can't hear the stream anymore because the Extras 3 engine's so loud. Ting Tong John, you need a rear gunner to take them all out. I think Microsoft Server is doing that for us. I don't need the gunner. Lee, there's 25 aircraft all waiting at Hamburg. Excellent. Well, hopefully they'll be able to see us. Okay, so at the moment I'm currently direct Risbo, 16 miles away, 17,000 feet. Aiming for about 11,000 feet at Risbo. Continue with the descent then down to our platform altitude to capture the ILS. And that is at DH... where's it gone? Wrong chart. So at DH455. So my routing, for those of you that are wanting to do the same, will be DH434. Do you know, I'm going to type this in so you've got a copy of it. So it will be from Risbo, or Ribso, sorry, to Delta Hotel 434, then Delta Hotel 435, then Delta Hotel 455, and that is then the ILS for runway 15. HD, I know exactly why that is. That is because we're unable to maintain. I couldn't change the max speed. I forgot all about it. The engines had spooled up, so we weren't slowing down. Not got down quick enough, but we will. We will. Buffalo Gaming, you can just be doing barrel rolls over the top of the airfield. Hopefully we'll be able to see you. Northern Coast, you've got light snow and 2 degrees temperature here in Hamburg. Wow. Lucas, the auto reconnect to a different server, would it help? I honestly don't know. I would have thought you've all got to be on the same server for it to appear. At least that's the way I understood it. Kareem, hello, thanks for joining. Lucas, you can only see 4 of us now. If I look behind me a little bit, who have we got? Yeah, I've only got 3 of you. Non-Earth and Han62 and DJ33 UK. So, aliens. Rob, you've got some video of the takeoff. That's great. I'd love to see that. That's the problem, isn't it? When you're in the flight deck, you don't always get a chance to have a good look. Okay, so 12 miles from Ribzo. I was aiming for 11,000 feet. I think we'll make that. Should be okay. Buffalo, if I'm at runway 15 at the threshold, does that mean I will get a 50 A320 flight? There may not be A320s, but yeah, there should be a few. So we're over the river Ilb. I'm going to have pronounced that completely wrong. I know I have. Elbe. That's the Sheffield pronunciation. Up north. Kareem, how do I know when to activate VNAV? Never, because it doesn't work in Flight Sim 2020. Okay, so I'm now continuing the descent down to 5,000 feet. So with that, our seatbelt signs are going on. And we're now going to DH434. Okay, Richard, Sheffield is not north, that's Yorkshire. Is Yorkshire not in the north? It is to everyone in London. The real north, of course, when you get up to York, Newcastle, Tyneside. Okay, where are we? About to hit 9,000 feet. And as I'm going down, let's set current QNH. 1013. Ah. That's interesting. So that's if I press letter B. What I should actually be getting is a QNH of 982. Guess we'll know which one's correct when we come to land in Hamburg and the airfield elevation isn't right. Richard, the Toon is the real north. Anything north of the M4 is the north, quite right. Patrick, doesn't the FMC manage your altitude? No, it doesn't. No. Okay, so we're now turning towards Delta Hotel 455. Can continue the descent now down to 3,000 feet. And I want to start slowing the aircraft down, so we can go to the performance page, and we're actually already in the approach phase. It's been activated automatically. So manage mode for the speed. Done true, the only mods I use are self-loading cargo and a couple of airports. The main one is the fly-by-wire mod. Okay, so now turning 456, then be 457. We can now turn on the approach phase, approach mode, and start capturing that localizer. 24 miles out, guys. So if you hit Delta Hotel 455, that's about 25 miles out for you. Localizer is alive. Altitude glide slope is currently armed. I need to close the VFR map now just to keep things checked. Profile was fine in the end HD. I avoided the ruler. Yeah, so the weather that I'm actually getting, there's definitely something wrong with the servers this evening. I've never had it happen before, but basically the Meteo Blue weather is telling us the weather in Flight Sim should have the QNH of 982, which is always correct because that's from Flight Sim. However, what we're getting displayed and what we're getting told is two completely different things. If I have a quick look around, I bet we've lost everyone, haven't we? There's nobody there. Oh no. What an anticlimax. I know you're there, guys. I do know you're there. So how strange is that? Oh, hang on. Goodness me. A lot of people have just populated. There you all are. How weird. And I did nothing. Yeah, everyone's just come back as well, Cormac. You are all here for the landing. That's amazing. If you had to be here for any part of the flight, it would be the takeoff and landing. It appears you're all going to be there, so that's great. Dominic, hello guys. What FPM am I aiming for? Oof. Any I can walk away from. How's that? So everyone's just come back. That's amazing. 17 miles out. 17 miles out and already established on the localizer. It's quite a long star, this, isn't it? Which is good. Buffalo Gaming, you can now see us. Fantastic. I know you're sat at Hamburg. Dominic, you challenged me to do it under 100. Well, I'm not even sure that's a good thing, to be honest. Glide slopes alive. So with that, flaps 1. 14 miles out. So everyone else has got terrible weather, which is the real weather. I've got clear blue skies. I have no idea why. I've got live weather. I don't know if I can set that. If I go with clear skies and then set live weather, does it change anything? No. Server issue. Flaps 2. And we'll really start slowing down now. Cormac, yeah, that'd be great. Check out the about page, and my email is on there, so if anyone wants to email at me afterwards, please feel free. So waiting for the glide slope capture. There it is. And we're just gone 12 miles out.
Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for landing.
So let's see if we've got people behind us. Wow, that looks like a busy final. Flying Scott. I'm just trying to pick up names at random here. Sushi, how did we end up in front of you? Did you slow down? I can see Scandi behind us as well. Time Supernova. Jap, mate, what's your flight name in the sim? You have to let us know. Eastbourne Lee, I'll start with Claire. Do you know what? I've never had a problem with skies being just clear weather. Never had it at all. Trust me to have it now on the community flight. Typical, but never mind. Never mind.
Thank you.
Dominic, I am running OBS at the same time. It does drop a little bit, but I'm so used to running OBS now whenever I'm flying that I don't notice it. So, for instance, I've got frame rates now of about 27, which is plenty. I'm not using VR, so 6.5 miles out. Yeah, HD, you're right. I've just got clear weather, there's no excuse for a bad landing, is there? I presume that's what you meant. Landing gear down, flaps 3. Coming up to 5 miles out. What is rather off-putting, which isn't something I'd actually thought of, is having the nameplates on for everyone is great, but it is a little off-putting when trying to focus on the focus on the landing strip on the runway. Spoilers armed, flaps full. I had what sounded like an outer marker call then. I've not heard that before. Don't know if you guys could hear that.
Minimum.
Yeah, okay, so we need to be QNH 1013. It is clear weather. We were certainly not at 200 feet above ground level then, were we? Oh, HD, you're right. Landing lights weren't on. Thank you. So in theory, if we've actually hardly any weather, autopilot's turned off, and I'm not touching the side stick, no need.
500. 400. 300. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Okay guys, I'm down. I'm going to try and vacate the runway as quick as possible, because what I'd love to do is see some of you guys behind me coming in. So I can see Eastbirds there, clearly. Hopping train doing barrel rolls over the airfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hamburg. The local time is 14:52.
I'm going to vacate left.
Very cold 0 degrees Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit. So if you have a jacket or coat, you might want to put it on before exiting.
Okay guys, I'm off the runway.
Please remain
It's now a free-for-all.
seated until arrives at the gate. You are reminded to keep all electronic devices switched off until you have entered the airport terminal.
High-speed taxi.
Thank you for flying with Easyjet.
Alright guys, that's been great. What I want to do is I want to sit here and just watch the rest of you land. This is like the end of Die Hard 2. Yeah, that was probably the most unrealistic part of the film, wasn't it? And when you think about everything that went on in that film, that's saying something. Great film though. Do you know what? I've not watched it yet. Quick vote. Is Die Hard a Christmas film or not? So Sushi's there, Flying Scott's there, who else we got? MS Wolf's there. Just taxi on straight through me, guys. Just, I'm going to stay here just so we can watch you all land on the stream. Meow, I love that username. Named after the cat. Earl's Badger. There's Scandi 941. AC3 Align, I believe is that. Victor. And Muslim Cat. Hoping I've not missed anyone. Of course, there may have been some of you that landed before me. MS Wolf, carry on, mate. If you want, go straight through us. Wow, find an empty parking spot. If that happens, HD, and you do trade paint, do you just grab the insurance forms out of the glove box and say, your people talk to my people? Air Siberia. And there's Nelly as well. Wonderful. Yes, I'm blocking the rapid exit taxiway. Never mind. And your P45. Well, what about the A350 that British Airways took delivery of? I'd never want to fly on that aircraft. Every time it came out of the hangar, something else happened to it. Victor 121, you were the first aircraft I have seen in another Easyjet livery. Then again, the Easyjet livery is the only one I've got, so I'm presuming Victor 121, that's what you're in. Hopping train, you're keeping us entertained. Ouch, that must have hurt. Ryan, yeah, we've landed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my aircraft there, and I'm just going to quickly grab the drone camera. I'm going to have a look around. So that's great. That really is good. I hope all of you have enjoyed tonight's stream. I've certainly enjoyed tonight's stream and tonight's community flight. Hit the like button. Leave a comment as well. I'm interested to know in how much you enjoy these. PH Yap, there you are. I've been waiting for you. Thanks very much for joining. But there we all are. Fantastic, guys. Absolutely brilliant. XT, when will the next one be? Honestly, I do not know. Most likely now it will be in the new year. Tomorrow I'll be streaming during the day, but that will be on VATSIM. Route not yet decided. Normal start time of between 10 AM, 10:15 Zulu time in the morning. And that will be a normal EasyJet flight. Real world ops and procedures, etc., etc. So, with that, guys, I've really enjoyed that. Thank you very, very much to each and every one of you for taking part, to the subscribers of the channel, for helping make the channel as popular as it is, to all the donators of the channel, not just tonight but in the past as well. It's it really is great fun, and this has been brilliant. It definitely will not be the last community flight. I think a good hour's flight is probably about right, isn't it, for something like this? Hope you've all enjoyed it, guys. As I say, I will be back online for a stream tomorrow. Haven't decided where we're flying yet, but I look forward to seeing some of you on board in the chat for that. I will be on VATSIM as well. So with that, I'm going to leave you all, and once again say a massive thank you to each and every one of you for joining us tonight. It's been fun. I look forward to catching up with you again in the chat tomorrow, and seeing you all again very soon. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.